Assalamualaikum everyone. So now this is your question 1 from February March 2025 9706 paper 2. Now this paper just recently happened and I have decided to work out a solution for you all because this paper caused a lot of stress among the students who attempted this as they were caught by surprise as many of the additional information and adjustments kind of were complex. So we'll start off by reading this question and highlight any important points that can be of use to us. So Sara and Viraj are in partnership and own a wholesale business. At 1st January 2024, the partners had the following balances. Now the capital balances are given to us and the current account balances are given to us. Now we can see that Sara has a debit current account balance and Viraj has a credit current account balance. Now normally they all should have a credit balance, but this debit balance clearly indicates that Sara has withdrawn more money from the partnership than she has actually invested. So moving on, during the year ended 31st December 2024, the following drawings had been recorded. So we have the information for the drawings over here. So for Sara it is 22960 and for Viraj it is 18930. The following balances were also available at 31st December. So we have a bank overdraft and we have non-current assets at carrying amount. So keep this in mind that these are the non-current assets at carrying amount. Inventory is given to us now obviously because this is at the closing date. So this inventory is your closing inventory. You have other payables, you have other receivables, and you have trade payables and you have trade receivables. Now the draft profit for the year ended 31st December 2024 was 9400 before accounting for the following. Okay, so now here are the adjustments. So they have given you the draft profit which is 9400 and then they have given you further adjustments that were not recorded in this calculation of the profit of 9400. So the first one is saying wages 850 were owing. So now I'll try to just work out these side by side. So when we know that these wages are owing, so wages are basically your expense, and when these expense is owing, we add that accrued amount to our expenses. So once our expenses will increase, so that will definitely affect our profit. So technically what's happening is that our expenses are increasing by 850. So that means that our profit will be reduced by 850. So this will have a negative impact on our profit of this 850. So it is always kind of useful if you can work out the fact while you're reading these additional adjustments and when you will be solving the question, so you will know clearly that what needs to be done. So moving on, the point 2, a credit customer owing 1200 had gone out of business. The partners believe that 20% of the amount outstanding will be recovered and the remaining 80% is to be written off. Okay, so out of this 1200 we have to write off a bad debt of the amount that is 80% of this 1200, and keep this in mind that this total amount of 1200 must be included in this trade receivable already. So we'll have to take an effect of that also. So if we just simply take out 20% of 1200, so that will be 240, and when we deduct 240 from 1200, that will give us, we'll be left with 960. Okay, so that means that we have to record a bad debt of 960 and we still have a chance of receiving 240. And when we have this bad debt, so again bad debt is an expense, so our expense will be increasing and our profit will be falling. So this 960 should be deducted from our profit that is given. Then we have, moving on to the third point, the partners have decided to create an allowance of irrecoverable debts of 5% for trade receivables. Okay, now so whenever we are making this provision for doubtful debt, this will be based on the remaining receivables. So like I mentioned earlier, that this amount of 19,980, we should deduct the confirmed bad debt from this. So we deduct 960 from this, and that will be, we will be left with 19,020, and then we can simply take 5% of that value. So it is important that you deduct the bad debt because this was not recorded. So we simply do this, and we will take the 5% of this amount and record it as an allowance for bad debt. So when we take out 5% of this value, that gives us a value of 951. Now because this provision for doubtful debt has been created, they're just creating it, so all of this is an increase, and whenever we have an increase in the allowance for irrecoverable debt, that will reduce our profit. So because that is an expense, and whenever there is a reduction, that is an other income that we record. So over here there was no earlier allowance for bad debt, so all of this 951 will be considered as an expense, and again this will reduce your profit. Moving on, Viraj had taken goods for own use valued at cost. Okay, now this is an important one, and from what I have heard, most of the students kind of miss this out, because when you are taking goods for your own use, that is a drawing, and this will directly impact your purchases. So the value of purchases is reduced. So what will happen is that this 550 will actually increase your profit. Why? Because when your purchases are being reduced, so your expense is being reduced, and this will increase your profit by 550. So we will be recording that. Now moving on, Viraj had provided a loan to the partnership on 1st May 24 of 7,200 at 8%. Okay, so this is a loan to the partnership at 8% interest per annum. Now moving on, the loan is repayable in full at the end of 5 years. Interest on the loan had not been accounted for. Okay, now interest on the loan had not been accounted for. Now this loan interest has been very rarely examined in our Cambridge papers. However, this is part of your syllabus, and if you are going through your textbooks, you will find that there is information regarding this. Now what happens is that whenever a partner gives a loan to the partnership, that is recorded as an interest. However, this interest is recorded as an expense, and this is not to be mentioned in the appropriation, right? So this is an expense, and this will be affecting the profit. Now there is another catch to it, because they have given you the date of giving that loan. So if that is 1st May 2024 and the year is ending on 31st December 24, so that means according to this, the interest should be recorded for only 8 months. So you have your May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. That makes it 8 months. And because this is 1st May, that's why we will be including May in it. So if we can simply work out, so what we can do over here is that we will take this 7,200, and for this 7,200 we will simply multiply this by 8%. You can use 0.08 and then multiply it by 8/12. So 8/12, because we are only considering 8 months out of the total 12 months that are there. So this will give us a value of 384. Now remember, this interest on loan is an expense for the business, so this 384 will be reducing our profit. Now once again, I'd like to point this out that this should be recorded in our expenses and not in the appropriation account. I can give a reference to that, like this is from your Accounting for Cambridge International textbook. So interest on partner's loan is an agreed amount of interest is paid on any loans above the partner's capital contribution. Where there is no agreement, that interest is payable at 5%, and they are also mentioning it to be the 5%. The interest is charged as an expense. So this is the important part that you all should remember, that this interest, that the loan that the partner is giving to the partnership, that interest will be charged as an expense. So that's why this amount of 384 should be reducing your profit and recorded as expense. Now moving on, closing inventory had been understated by 3000. So whenever closing inventory is understated, that means that profit is also understated. So when we will correct this, so that will increase your profit by 3000. So that will have a positive impact on your profit, and that will increase your profit by 3000. Moving on, Sarah had introduced into the business a motor vehicle valued at 20,400 on 1st September 2024. Motor vehicles are depreciated by 20% per annum using the straight line methods. Okay, so depreciated by 20% per annum on the straight line method on a month by month basis. Now this is the most important part over here in this adjustment given right at the end of your paper. I am sure some of the students might have missed this out. So you have to record this depreciation on a monthly basis. So what we do is, now this is 20,400, and also keep this in mind that you need to always check for the month or the date at which the asset has been introduced. So on according to 1st September, that will give you September, October, November, December. So that's only giving you 4 months. So we'll have to record this depreciation for 4 months only. And in order to calculate that, we can simply take this value. So we take 20,400 and we will first multiply it by 20%. So taking 20% of that, multiplying by 0.2, and then further multiplying that by 4/12, because we're not taking it for the whole year, we're only taking it for the 4 months out of those 12 months in a year. So this will give us a value of, let me just calculate. So this gives us a value of 1360. So the depreciation of this new vehicle is of 1360, and as depreciation is your expense, this will be reducing your profit by negative by 1360. Now one thing, keep this in mind, that why are we only recording this depreciation for the new motor vehicle? Because over here these non-current assets were already given at the carrying amount, and it is only these adjustments that had not been recorded in this calculation of 9400. So any other depreciation that was over here, which is giving this carrying value, that has already been adjusted in this 9400. So this depreciation amount will be reducing our profit by 1360. So the very first requirement, that is to calculate the revised profit for the year ended 31st December 2024. So our revised profit will simply start with this 9400, and we will make all these changes, we will make all these additions and deductions that we have done, and hopefully that will give us the revised profit. Alright guys, so we can do this like over here. So I have already worked this out, and so you have your profit of 9400. Now first what I have done is I have taken all these amounts that were giving a negative impact on the profit, so we have added them up and we are deducting that. So as we discussed earlier, that the effect that all these adjustments were having, so wages were owing, so as a result that was reducing our profit by 850, so we have included that. We had an bad debt of 960, so we have recorded that. And then there was the provision of 951, so that I have explained, we have recorded that. And then the provision for depreciation, which was there, of 1360, and the interest on loan from the partner. So once we add all these up, we'll get a total of 4505. We are deducting that from 9400, and then we are simply adding the values that will be having a positive impact on the profit. So this 3000 was the closing inventory, which was understated, and we decided that that will be obviously have a positive impact on the profit. And then there was this drawings, and obviously these drawings were deducted from purchases, so that will have again a positive impact on the profit. So if we simply add this amount and deduct 4505, so 9400 minus 4505 and add 3550, that will give us a profit of 8445. So our revised profit for the year, this will be 8445. Now we can also label this as our revised profit. Okay guys, so moving on to the next part. This next part is asking us with additional information. The partners share profits and losses in the ratio Sara Viraj 2:1 after providing for the following. The interest is charged on each partner's drawings at 5%, so we have interest on drawings at 5% on the total of drawings for the year in excess of 10,000. Now again, this is something that really messed up students in their head, and this is basically the interest is being charged on partners drawings on excess amount more than 10,000. And then the second entry is simply Sara is entitled to a salary of 12,000 per annum. So there is nothing much to this one. However, to work out this, so first we need to clearly see that the partnership ratio is 2:1, so that means that Sara will be getting 2/3 and Viraj will be getting 1/3. So if we look at the amounts given to us at the start of the question, they had clearly given us the value of drawings, whereas Sara had 22,960 and Viraj has drawings of 18,930. Now remember, Viraj also took out some more goods for his use, so we'll simply add that up to his amount of drawings. So if we add that 550, that 550 should be added into these drawings. Now further, as that question is stating, these drawings are to be calculated at 5%. The interest is to be calculated at 5% over the excess of 10,000. So we need to calculate the 5% interest on the amount that is other than 10,000. So suppose if this Sara has 22,960, we will simply deduct 10,000 from this, and when we deduct 10,000 from this, we are left with 12,960, and then on that 12,960 we will be taking out that percentage of interest on drawings. So that interest on drawings percentage is given to us as 5%, so we will simply just take out 5% of 12,960, and I use 0.05, and the amount that we are getting for this will be 648. So the same thing will be done for Viraj. However, for Viraj we will take total drawings as 18,930 plus 550. So if we just work this out, Right, so we are starting off with the net profit for the year, that is 8445 that we calculated in the first part. We are simply adding interest on drawings over here. Now this interest on drawings for Sarah, we are taking 5% over the excess of 10,000. So her amount of 22,960 minus 10,000, we multiply that by 5%, we're getting 648. And for Viraj, we're adding that 550 additional drawings, and then we deduct 10,000 from the total and take the 5%. So his interest on drawings will be 474. We add these both up, we are getting the value of 1122, and this will be added into the value of 845. And further, if we look at the appropriations for Sarah's salary, so this 12,000 salary, this will be simply deducted from that total, and we can see that we will get a loss that is to be shared among the partners. So that loss is of 2433. Now this shows that there will be a share of loss among the partners, though according to the ratio of 2 3 and 2/3 and 1/3. So we will be getting the value of 1622 for Sarah and 811 for Viraj. So these are the share of losses that will go in their current account. So 2433 loss is to be shared among the partners, and we are doing this according to the ratio that was given to us, that was 2/3 and 1/3. Guys, now moving on to part C. This one is asking prepare the current account of Viraj for the year ended 31st December. Dates are not required. Okay, so we just need to make the current account for Viraj. We can simply do that by starting off with our opening balance. Now remember, at the start of the question, the opening balance for Viraj was 2730, that was credit, and we will just simply record that amount over here. So on the credit side, we take our balance BD, and this is 2730. So 27. Now in the appropriation that we made, we had recorded all the details. So there was interest on drawings, and then there was share of loss that need to be recorded. So when we're making the current account, we simply write the opening balance. This was credit balance. Now on the debit side, we will record the amount for drawings. Now remember, we updated the amount for drawings, we added 550 to that. So after adding that amount, the amount for drawings will be 19480, right? So how do I get this 19480? This was simply the addition of the amount. So this was the drawing amount 18930, and we were adding 550, which was further mentioned in the additional information. So this is 19480, and then we also calculated the interest on these drawings. So the interest on drawings will be 474. This is what we calculated in the previous part. So this interest on drawings, this is the one that is going over there, 474. This is for Viraj. So everything that is reducing the value of capital, that is recorded on the debit side, and anything that is increasing the value of capital, that is recorded on the credit side. However, in this question there was no share of profit, there was only share of loss. So we will record that loss share. So loss share for Viraj we calculated as 811. So let's just put that over here. So 811. Now adding all of these up, we can see that this side is clearly more. So this gives us a value of 20765. We write the same over here, 20765, and we deduct 2730 from that. Now this is giving us a value of 18 035. So now what has happened is that Viraj's credit balance has turned into a debit balance, meaning that he has withdrawn more money in the business than. So we will write down this as balance BD. So you always need to write down your balance CD as balance BD. You must show that there is one mark for this. So this is for Viraj current account. Okay guys, so now moving on to the next part. This part, additional information given to us on 31st December 2024, the balance of Sarah's current account was 15070 debit. Prepare an extract from the financial statement showing the capital and liabilities section only. Okay, so we only need to record the capital and liabilities part. So remember, in the question they had given us all the information. Now one important point over here that they have mentioned is that the closing date, the balance on Sarah's current account is 15070 debit. Now at the start of the question, this was given to us as 1840 debit, right? So this was at 1st January 2024, 1840 debit, and now they're saying that this is 15070 debit. So even if we can try and see the profit that we have calculated, this is a way for us to check that we have gotten the correct profit share. So if we just make those simple adjustments, we can clearly see what Sarah's current account balance should be. So if we look at her opening balance, so if that was 1840 debit, right? So if I can just simply do this over here, so suppose if we have Sarah's current account balance, so if this was 1840 debit over here, so the only thing that was being given to her was the share of what was the salary, right? So she was only receiving the salary. She had drawings and she had interest on drawings. So Sarah's interest on drawings was 648, and she was getting a salary of 12,000, and her drawings amount was also given to us. So there was no change in Sarah's drawing amount, right? So if we just simply put that over here, 22,960, and we add her interest on drawing, that was of 648, so 648, and if we, there was share of loss, so her share of loss was 1622, so 1622, and the only thing that she was receiving was the salary, so that was 12,000, right? So if we simply add this up, so we get a value of 27070, and when we deduct 12,000 from that, so 27070, we will see that we are getting a CD balance of the amount that the question is giving to us. So the question is saying that she had a current account balance of 15070. So if we do this calculation, we are getting the amount of 15070, right guys? So that is a surety that our appropriation account is pretty much correct, because of that we have this share of loss which wouldn't have been there. So this is just a confirmation that our earlier parts were correct. So now doing the statement of financial position, capital and liabilities section, I have worked this out for you. So the capital, initially the capital for Sarah was 80,000, but remember she introduced a motor vehicle into the business which was costing 20,400. So we're simply adding that value 20,400 because now this is her additional capital and we get the new capital amount. The Viraj capital is pretty much the same which was given at the start of the year, so because there hasn't been any changes to it. And then we have the current account balances. So for Sarah's current account balances, we are taking a negative 15070 as stated in the question and as proven with our working. And for Viraj, we will be using the current account balance that we just calculated in our earlier part. So 18035, again this is a debit balance, so we will be deducting this. So after adding the capital values and deducting the current account values, we are getting a total of 179295. Then we will be recording our long-term liabilities. So capital plus liabilities. So we have completed the capital part. Now adding up the liabilities, we take the long-term loan by Viraj to the partnership, that was of 7200. And further in the question they had given us the trade payables, we had the bank overdraft, and we had the other payables. Now remember, the bank overdraft has no change, even the trade payables has no change. So we take the amount for trade payables and we take the amount for bank overdraft, that is as it is. However, in your other payables, the amount is given 410, but in our adjustments there were wages that were owing, so any accrued expense is also recorded as your current liability. So that's why we will be adding that 850 to the 410 in our other payables to get a value of 1260. Once we add all these liabilities and we add it to our capital value, we'll be getting a balance of 209025, right? So this will be the total of your capital and liabilities.